So here's a look at my work van. This is a Ram Promaster high roof extended wheelbase 3500. So it's the longest, biggest one you can get. And start out with the back doors. I've got boot covers, the ladder I use most frequently, and I just have it fastened with a lever clamp and it hangs on a hook. I use a lot of this sprayway glass cleaner, so that just goes into a little half of a PVC pipe. And then here's all my frequently used caulks and adhesives. I keep them here because they're all consumable, so it's easy to run inventory before you go to a job and replenish any of them from the shop. So let's jump into the van and see a little bit more. At the back door of the van, I have my table saw, and it's got a built-in outfeed which goes in about 10 feet, meaning I can make cuts here and it's supported. I have my rails above that, 4-foot and 10-foot track. I have my 8-foot level, my jammer level, and then a couple third hands, and all of those things slide out easily, which I like. I've got my extra levels here. That's sort of a temporary setup. And then I've got 2 leaf blowers. Got the little guy, which I typically leave on my miter saw to clean off debris and tools. And then I've got my big one, which I use to sort of clean up patios and driveways after we've been creating dust. So this just hangs here on a screw, and it's very handy. And I gotta find that screw hole again. All right, let's jump inside some more. So at the back of the van up top, what I have is a spot for garbage bags, an extra Craig jig, my compressor, and then commonly used drill bits, band-aids, touch-up brushes. Anything I use frequently is here, and I like it here because I can get it from the ground, so I don't have to get in the van to access these things. This little platform that the compressor's on serves as support, so if you're cutting material on the miter saw, you've got some extra support here, which can be handy. Moving on down the line, I've got 2 scissor stands for the table saw, one for this one for my corded one, which is at the side door. So basically nothing sophisticated here, but I just pull these clips off, and this slides off, and then it slides back again. And I like the idea of storing little things inside of big things. So basically I knew I needed these at the back door, and then I built these boxes which fit just inside them, and then figured out what I was going to put in there. So I think that's a good way to come up with storage. Come up where you're going to put the big things, then fill out the inside with extra space. So up at the top here, I've got my masking tape storage, and there's nothing really to that. Hearing protection and a vacuum. What I love about this van is it has a spot for a garbage can. That's super important. Obviously my wings for my miter saws are in a really easy to access spot without getting in the van. I've got a couple dust busters hidden in here to clean up. I've got my furniture and appliance movers and my crown stop hidden back there. But having this garbage can, I really can't say enough positive things about that. Moving back into the van, I've got a miter saw that is cordless. So that's always set up and ready to go. And it's also got a pocket hole jig and a drill that hang off of it. So we do a lot of spreaders and need pocket holes for that, so I can cut out, make a quick cut in the van. That has proven to be a good decision. And then I have this miter saw stand below me, and this whole unit pops out and would click to that. So if I want to do a job and move this miter saw, I can do that relatively easily, but having it set up here is very handy. And I've got my flat stock 1x3 right up here, and then I've got Luan, which I use for countertop templates above that. So I have 2 different types of stock that goes up there. There's some corner bead in here for some reason. That's just because it's a construction van and stuff gets put back in the wrong place. This is real life. So this sort of slides in there a bit out of the way. And let's go over to this side. All right, so of course I've got my vacuum, frequently used tool, very accessible, some joint compound for touch-ups, wax kit, grabos, angle finder, sandpaper for my tools. So miscellaneous things fall into these pockets, and this is all my inventory. So if you come in here for fasteners, anything that's consumable, it's all gonna be in these things. And I do have some tools, like I have caps for plumbing if I need them, or wire caps for electric if I need them. But in general, these stacks are for consumables like sandpaper, trim screws, wood screws, all that stuff. Down here on the ground, I've got my caulking guns. I've got my 4-arm forklifts and my blower to move appliances, and then this is my cabinet install kit, and I keep it with the with this hand truck. I wish I had a better spot for this hand truck, but basically this is all the tools I need for installing cabinetry. So instead of unloading the van, I just roll this out. It goes with me into the job on the hand truck, and then the van is still set up. I'm never wondering what's in the van, what's in the job site. I know this goes to the job site, and there's doubles of everything. So if I have to leave these tools on the job site, I can still go service another job and have the tools I need. So I like that specificity of this van. Obviously this is super heavy, so I need ramps to get it down. So I have these ramps that I stand up here. They are just big enough that I can use one, but sometimes I do put 2 of them out if I know I'll be going in and out of the van a lot in a day. So I like that, and I just use a strap to store them. Just goes around. And I've got a little workbench here from DeWalt, and then I've got sort of this bench, which I usually do. I just store things that are transient. So this is my work bag. So this is where all my tools go. They go into the job, but I like it. It snaps into this pack out holder. That's one of the reasons I went with the pack out system. So this clips onto this, so it doesn't move around. It also clips onto the top of the mobile tool. Extra vacuum up top. So coming down this side of the van, obviously I've got all my tracks and stuff in here. I have sustainers with different tools, vacuum wands, miscellaneous parts. It's actually empty right now. Just leaving room to grow. I have my third hand parts, knee pads, PPE. This is my hardware install kit and router bits and sanders and APAC drill. That's all my lights in here. Door jigs, sandpaper, etc. So all the sustainers. These are all that's left, and then this is just open storage. So 23 gauge nail gun planer, everything's modular, scribed. Anything I need is in these, and they're accessible, easy to do inventory on. And then I created little flat compartments just below the wood storage for tiny items like router, accessories. So it's pretty simple, nothing complicated here. All my hose storage at the end, and then I've got uprights like outfeed support, sawhorses. This workbench slides out the side door. Really easy, simple stuff, but it helps me stay organized. The only thing I hate is having this thing flap in the breeze. So there's that. So behind the bulkhead here, this is the front of the cargo area. I've got all my canned goods up here in one of these metal organizers. Charged batteries sit on this little shelf. Believe it or not, they don't fall off. And then I've got battery charging here. This is just something I plug into shore power. And then I've got different glues, solvents, deodorant, stuff I use frequently here, big hammers. And this is where I keep outfeed and sawhorses. They kind of flap around, which is annoying when you're driving, but it's a nice easy place to stash them. I had it really tight in my last van and they were hard to jam in there, so I like having the space, but I need to come up with some way of keeping them from bouncing around. So that's pretty much it here. Up top, of course, I've got drop cloths, moving blankets, and all my clamp go up here, just out of eye-poking range. So over here at the side door, I've still got levels, track storage for an extra track, 6-foot ladder goes in there, miter saw, table saw, circular saw, and a reciprocating saw. That's pretty much it. Of course, pencils at the side door, you can't have too many of those. So that's a look at the van. Any questions? Let me know.